What's up guys, Shane Starnes with Droid Moto X. HTC just announced the One A9. This is supposed to be their rebound device, but can this device really bring HTC out of the ashes? The phone will set you back $399, and I don't know that I can recommend it at that price point, considering that there are several other phones in the market that can probably do better at that price point. While the phone has a lot going for it, is it really the best bang for your buck? We're going to compare it to the Moto X Pure. Let's go ahead and get started. First up, we'll talk about displays. The Moto X Pure is rocking a 5.7-inch Quad HD IPS display, whereas the HTC One A9 is rocking a 5-inch 1080p AMOLED display. Now, if you're talking about screen size only, I personally prefer a 5.7-inch screen over a 5-inch screen. In my opinion, the bigger, the better. When you're talking about quality of screen, this would be a whole lot more difficult to determine. On one side, the One A9 has that AMOLED display, and normally I prefer an AMOLED display over an IPS display. The reason being is that AMOLED displays light up the pixels individually. This means that you're going to get brighter colors and darker blacks. The reason you're going to get darker blacks is that the screen can actually turn off pixels when needed. This can also save battery as you use the device. IPS displays, on the other hand, have their own benefits. The main benefit is that they perform better in sunlight, so if you go outdoors, you're going to be able to see that IPS display without cranking up your brightness, whereas on the AMOLED display, you're probably going to have to crank up your brightness to see it. The fact that the One A9 has a 1080p display versus the Quad HD display on the Moto X Pure means that I'm probably going to have to give the slight edge to the Moto X Pure. Next up, we'll talk about design. The Moto X Pure is fully customizable through Moto Maker. You can change the color of the phone and also the accents. The Moto X Pure has that Gorilla Glass 3 front. It has a metal housing and metal sides and a plastic back with a metal accent dimple. The HTC One A9, on the other hand, has a premium design with a Gorilla Glass 3 front and all metal body, but it looks incredibly familiar. The One A9 looks almost identical to the iPhone 6 design. In fact, the only way that you can tell the difference is the HTC logo and the fact that the camera is in the center of the back instead of to the left. While the One A9 has a more premium build, the thing that I like most about Android is originality and choice. For those reasons, I'm going to have to give the edge to the Moto X Pure. Next up, we'll talk about speed and performance. The Moto X Pure has the tried and true Snapdragon 808 processor with 3 GB of RAM. That 808 processor is a hexa-core processor. All 6 cores can be used at the same time and is clocked at 1.8 GHz. The One A9, on the other hand, uses a Snapdragon 617 processor. This is an octa-core processor, but it's actually split up into 2 processors. 4 cores are clocked at 1.5 GHz and 4 cores are clocked at 1.2 GHz. Now, theoretically, you should be able to save some battery with the cores being split up because you'd have 4 cores that would be used for high performance and 4 cores that would be used for low performance. I think on the Moto X Pure, you're actually going to have a much snappier and fluid device. The Moto X Pure is also rocking a vanilla version of Android with no extras, whereas the One A9 has Android with an HTC Sense skin overlaid. HTC Sense in the past has caused lag and has really bogged down HTC phones in the past. For speed and performance, I'm going to have to give that to the Moto X Pure. So next up, we'll talk about battery. The Moto X Pure has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, whereas the One A9 has a 2,165 milliamp hour battery. It's hard to argue that the Moto X Pure will last longer. It does have the Quad HD display, and it does have a faster processor. The One A9 will actually use less resources with the slower processor and the 1080p display. I don't think the lower resources will be low enough to give the One A9 better battery life. The only plus that I can see for the One A9 is the fact that it will eventually have Quick Charge 3.0. The Moto X Pure comes with that Turbo 25 charging, which is super fast. So I have to give, once again, the edge to the Moto X Pure. Next up, we'll talk about cameras. The One A9 features a 13 megapixel camera with 2.0 aperture sensor and optical image stabilization, while the Moto X Pure features a 21 megapixel camera with 2.0 aperture and no optical image stabilization. I think in this day and age, megapixels do not really determine the quality of the photo. It's more about the sensor. The sensors are very comparable in both of these cameras. I think where the difference will be made is in optical image stabilization. With optical image stabilization, you're less likely to get a blurry picture, so I'm going to have to give this one to the One A9. Lastly, we'll talk about selling points of each phone. The One A9 ships with Dolby Audio, so it has amplified sound. It will also ship with Marshmallow and a promise to update to the latest version of Android within 15 days of it being released on Nexus devices. The other main selling point of the One A9 is Uh-Oh protection, and Uh-Oh protection protects the phone from drops, spills, or anything that would break the device, and it even includes devices that have been bootloader unlocked. So bootloader unlocking your device will not void the warranty. The Moto X Pure is considered the very fastest charging device. It has water resistance built into the phone, and you can customize it on Moto Maker. It also runs stock vanilla Android, and Motorola is known for updating their devices very fast. They've not promised a 15-day time structure, but I'll guarantee you that the Moto X Pure will be updated incredibly fast. All things considered, for $399, I personally will have to suggest the Moto X Pure if anybody asks me between those two devices. And that being said, the Moto X Pure is stuck at $399, so you'll always be able to grab that phone for $399 unless Motorola decides to come down on the price. The One A9, on the other hand, is a $399 introductory price for pre-orders only. According to HTC, they will be going up on that price. Now, I cannot suggest that phone at all for anything over $399, considering what you can get from other devices at that price point. Anyways, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. You can find more of me at droidmodderx.com, news.howonandroid.com, droidforums.net. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.